So here's how things are looking right now. In terms of Spurs, they're keeping their Champions League hopes alive. They've closed the gap to 4 points on Aston Villa, who face Liverpool on Monday. However, Villa will secure fourth if they beat Liverpool on Monday. Meanwhile, at the top end of the table, this is how things are looking for Manchester City and Arsenal with what is left. Arsenal playing on Sunday tomorrow against Manchester United. There's that make-up game for Man City against Spurs, away to Spurs, which is an important factor here. And then West Ham and Everton, respectively, for their final games of the season. So City at Spurs' new stadium. They won their last game there in the FA Cup, but they lost the 5 previous, 4 in the Premier League, 1 in the Champions League. And as you can see, no goals scored either. So, Frank, can Spurs spring a surprise in the title race here?
Well, at least they can fight for it, because you can wonder, because of the rivalry that you have between Spurs and Gunners, that maybe, well, the fans for sure, I guess, they would love even Spurs to lose to make sure City can win the title instead of the Gunners. But the players are professional and they want to reach maybe the 4th spot, so they're going to give it. It's not going to be easy for City, as you explained, and as Guardiola said, they never won in the Premier League over there, so it's going to be hard. It's good that Spurs won today against Burnley because they lost their first previous games, and it's going to be very interesting to see. I mean, the pressure is going to be there. We all know that City is going to go for it, but it's nice to see Tottenham going back against City with maybe a little bit more of confidence. But it's really, I mean, City is like a big machine right now, so it's going to be hard to see Spurs winning. I mean, it's hard to see Spurs winning right now. I mean, if you're a Spurs fan, yes, you can guess something. But in a neutral point of view, I think City is gonna go there and is gonna win it.
But it does look as though, obviously, we'll see what happens tomorrow, but it's City that have to win here. That's what's important.
Yeah, and I'm with Frank. Listen, could Tottenham spring a surprise? Well, yeah, but it would be a surprise. I mean, right now, going forward, Tottenham are relying on the defenders to score goals. You know, Yoon-min Son, Brennan Johnston, Kulusevski, Maddison. I mean, in the final third, they never looked convincing today, and certainly in recent weeks, they haven't looked convincing. So they're relying on Van de Ven, a centre-back, to score, and Pedro Porro, a full-back. and the other thing is as well, Tottenham are not going to change the way they play. They are going to go toe-to-toe with Man City. If you are Manchester City, it is yes, please, thank you. That's what they want. They want anybody to go toe-to-toe because they know that if you try and beat them in a pure football match, you're in trouble.
It was 3-3 earlier in the season between them.
A surprise. You started by saying, can they cause a surprise?
Is the draw a surprise?
Absolutely a surprise. Manchester City are going for history. Manchester City have got a dressing room that it's about winning. Right now, it matters. They've been through it before. They know exactly what it's going to take. And right now, no injuries. It's full-blown, get after it. And if I'm Manchester City, Tottenham away, if I have to go away from home, Tottenham away would be one of the games that I would like, for the reason that I just said, because they will be open and they will be trying to go forward. Yes, please. And twice on Sunday.
But isn't that a big pressure on them, seeing what their recent run has been like against them? Doesn't that add more pressure, given what's at stake here, Ale?
Yeah, the other way to look at that is that it gets their full attention. And I think the situation itself will get the full attention of Manchester City. I think Frank mentioned something there, right, that right now Manchester City seem machine-like. And yes, they seem automatic in the way that they're going about playing the game and making it look as if it doesn't matter who's in front of them or where they're playing, they're going to win because they know what this moment feels like, because they know what this pressure is like, and because they have thrived in this pressure before. But to your point, Kay, and I agree with just about everything that Stevie said. The only thing that I would disagree with is the fact that a history of lack of success away from home at Spurs will bring some discomfort, will bring some level of, well, we're not quite sure, and it would bring a level of confidence to Spurs that perhaps they don't have against other teams. But to your point, Stevie, yes, if they get in a back and forth, it would suit Manchester City because we have to imagine that they're better about finding spaces than Spurs is, and they're better in the final third, better than Spurs are. And so therefore, it feels like it should be Manchester City. And yes, it would be a surprise if Spurs are able to beat Manchester City.